We're back now with our smart takes, from the provocative to the thoughtful to the most informed. We track it down so you don't have to. Here again, Ed, Farai, Ann, and Joe. Our first smart take tonight, Bill Kristol says a surprising number of Democrats have told him they think John McCain will beat Barack Obama in November. To the quote board, one Democrat told me he was struck by the current poll showing a dead-even race, suggesting both a surprising openness to McCain among Americans who disapprove of Bush and a striking hesitation among the same voters about Obama. A congressional staffer said McCain's secret weapon among Clinton supporters may be Hillary's 3 a.m. national security ad, and an experienced Democratic operative emailed, Obama isn't growing in stature. Once I thought he could be Jimmy Carter, but now he reminds me more of Michael Dukakis. Plus, he doesn't have a clue how to talk to the middle class. He's in the Stevenson form, mold out of Illinois with a dash of Harvard disease thrown in. Ed Schultz, do you buy it?
No, I don't, David. Everything they seem to throw at Barack Obama, nothing sticks. This guy is so far above the tree line. He's so far above the fray. I think he's calm, cool, collected, poised, intelligent. And I really think that he is closing the gap closer and closer every day in Pennsylvania. I think he's going to win Pennsylvania, and you can throw those McCain polls out. I think McCain's going to be the easiest guy the Democrats have ever had to beat in a general election.
Our next smart take from Saturday Night Live, and this is for Joe, had some fun with the Clintons' tax returns. Take a look at this.
Those darn tax returns came out and it was discovered we were rich. Of course, this new information just means we'll have to get out of the race.
That's true. It's right. Since it was discovered that Bill and I know how to make money, it has become apparent that I am the wrong choice for millions of Americans who don't seem able to make money.
Well, you know, Joe, this cuts both ways, right? You mentioned at the top of the program there doesn't actually help your populist street cred when this kind of stuff comes out. But I think the point that Bill Kristol was making as well about Barack Obama and whether he can appeal to working class voters, that has yet to be demonstrated in big states like Ohio and Pennsylvania, even though he demonstrated it in Virginia.
It really has. It's interesting that Barack Obama is not an FDR or Truman-like Democratic figure. He's more like Adlai Stevenson, the intellectual class, the affluent. And really, the tax returns, it's something the Clintons would prefer not to have had come out this weekend with all the other distractions with Penn and the Ohio story. But I just mentioned FDR. Here was a guy that was born into privilege that the Clintons will never understand from his first days. And yet he was the person who, you talk to my family in rural Georgia, he was the hero. He was the populist. He was the guy that saved him. So I don't think money is an automatic disqualifier.
Farai, what do you think about the two things that we've just put up there so far?
Well, you know, it's one of these things where, as a former president, being a former president is a pretty good gig. And most of the wealth that's flowing into the Clinton family comes from that, the post-presidential money push. That certainly doesn't disqualify Senator Clinton from being president. But I do think that in this race, there are a lot of very complicated class dynamics.
Ann, comment?
Well, I completely agree, and I think the question isn't going to be so much whether they are millionaires, or as much as whether they act like millionaires, live like millionaires, talk like millionaires. So far, the rhetoric the Clintons have used, both President and Senator Clinton on the campaign trail, have very populist. They laugh about the fact that they've suddenly got all this money. On the other hand, it shows that they really have a lot, and they have these two nice houses. They live like former residents of the White House with big entourages. So the question is whether that ever gets used against her. So far, as they've all said, they've got other fish to fry at the moment, other things to worry about.
All right, we're going to take a break here. Coming up next, General David Petraeus heads to Capitol Hill tomorrow. A little to watch out here on MSNBC, and he'll be asked by all three presidential hopefuls some pretty straight questions about Iraq. Will this face-off reshape the war debate? Race for the White House. We'll come right back.